Good morning, day traders, and welcome to Market Minute, a hedge fund trader's technical analysis of the stock market for Friday, April 1st, 2022. Let's get after it. So a little bit of a challenging situation here for us this morning with a very high volume sell-off there into yesterday's close, right, for quarter end, and then a little bit of a gap up here this AM. Kind of makes it almost borderline impossible for us to sort of get that bullish momentum to step in for any move over that 462. So we have to have a bearish bias here this morning, right? Bearish for me can take control under this sort of 450 area and have room down towards, say, that 448.60, 445.60, and then eventually that 445 area. But we need to be a little bit cautious here as we're now gapping up, towards that, say, 454 zone, that by the time we break down, we need to still make sure that there's a lot of momentum left in this name. Similar story here on QQQ, right? Albeit a slightly more disappointing volume profile. So this still looks maybe a bit more like consolidation, maybe a bit like a bull flag, but still a bit of a ways to go before it breaks out over that 372 area. So bearish bias for sure under this sort of 360.90 zone. If you can give us that follow through on strong volume, certainly has a lot of room down towards sort of that 352 area. So you need to be a little bit cautious with that volume profile, as yesterday, right, we didn't quite get that increasing bearish volume. So not the perfect indicator that bears are in control here. Apple giving us maybe the strongest look here pre-market with that increasing daily volume, slight little gap down, and then full body bearish candle. So if Apple can continue to give us that continuation under this 174 area, certainly looks like that path towards that 170 can come very, very quickly. So you need to be a little bit cautious here again as we're selling off into a very strong trend here over the last, say, 14 days, right? Last 2 weeks or so. And if you can get that follow through, we need to make sure that the indexes are also cooperating here with us this morning. Tesla for me feels a bit like a bear trap to the downside and definitely not one I really want to chase here. Yesterday had an extremely low volume day compared to sort of all of our other index peers. So I want to be a little bit cautious chasing this thing to the downside. If it breaks down here under this 172 or 1072, certainly don't think I'm going to be chasing this as it feels a bit trappy to me on that significantly decreasing daily volume when everything else, right, kind of giving us that at least that close to outlier look. So for me, not super interested in this to the downside. If Tesla can break out over that 1120, then things can start to get really interesting for a move towards, say, that 1136, 1145, and then 1170 zone. But for now, this looks like it might be more one to watch than trade here today. Microsoft giving us another really strong setup here to the downside as well. A little bit of a full body breakdown, right? Bearish engulfing candle, bearish engulfing on volume, and certainly looks like it has that momentum sort of keep us breaking down here under this 307.60. Same thing though, like we're seeing on the SPY and QQQ, where this momentum now is getting a little bit tested here as we're gapping up a little bit more than one would like to see. So we're sort of getting 2 out of 3 here this AM, and we'd like to see this thing break down under that 307.60 for that continuation move down towards that 300 zone. AMD looks like it might be that sort of next superstar again for us here today. After yesterday's really nice trading action, we're looking for sort of that continuation thesis here this AM. If we're able to break down under this 108.80, then AMD certainly has a lot of room down towards, say, that 100 zone with a few stops along the way at 107, 105, right, 103, and then maybe even that 102 area. So like the volume pace here, right, that's pretty exceptional. Like the candle profile here, but again, right, this gap up just slows down the momentum here a little bit. So need to be a little bit cautious on any breakdown and make sure we're getting that look here to the downside as well. And then NVIDIA, right, last but not least, giving us a very nice look here for that sort of continuation thesis here this morning. A lot like this AMD yesterday, it looks like it might be ready for sort of that big flush here today. Increasing daily volume, right, touching sort of that outlier on that second most bearish, right, full body bearish candle. So if you can get that continuation, if this thing can continue to break down, then I think under this 271.40, we've got a lot of room down towards that sort of 270 barrier. And then once that 270 breaks, we have a big shelf that it can kind of fall under towards that 266.20, 265, and then 263.50 area. Past that, right, that area, or past that, we can certainly get towards that sort of 260 zone, but we're not sure if we're going to have that strength, and I'm not sure if there's enough information here that invalidates sort of this March 24th strength. So I like this downside potential, but still need to be a little bit cautious here, and AMD still looks like the slightly stronger setup here to the downside. So that's how I plan on dominating today's action. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you want to follow my day trades live, you can start your free 7-day trial at DTRtrading.com. Otherwise, have yourselves a fantastic session and see you all on Monday for the next Market Minute.